Good day, everybody. Thank you for joining and thank you for your time. My name is Jasper Holslag and I work as a partner technical strategist for Surface in Western Europe at Microsoft. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about zero-touch deployment with Surface and Microsoft 365. So before we get started, please feel free to reach out to me. You can send me a Teams chat, you can send me an email, or you can reach out to me over LinkedIn. My contact details are on this slide. So again, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or needs. Go ahead and message me. All right, so before we get into the technical bits and pieces, let me first give you a quick glance of our beautiful lineup and how we got where we are right now. So as you may know, for us, it all started with the Surface RT already 9 or 10 years ago. And right now that has evaluated into the Surface Pro. And to be precise, the Surface Pro 7 Plus. So for the people that don't know, the Surface Pro devices, we have designed as a beautiful 2-in-1 device. So that means that you can detach the keyboard from the screen and use it as a tablet, or when you need to be more productive, just connect the keyboard and you have a very powerful laptop device. So the Surface Pro 7 Plus comes with the 11th gen quad-core processors and it's really a compact powerhouse. So then we released Surface Book. Surface Book we released for those customers that were satisfied with the Pro, but were really looking for some more performance in the GPU compartment and in the CPU compartment, but didn't want to sacrifice the beautiful 2-in-1 functionality that we have with the Pro. Yes, this device is also in 2-in-1, so that means that you can detach the screen from the base unit and use it as a tablet, and when you need that power, that graphical calculating power, and be more productive, you can use it as a very powerful laptop. So that's Book. So after we launched the Book, we launched our laptop. And with laptop, we really packed the prestige, the design that we have with Surface into the traditional clamshell model. So laptop is a beautiful crafted Surface device with the look and feel and the prestige that you are used to from our devices. So right now we are at laptop 4. And we are not only selling it with the 11th gen quad-core processors, but also with the Ryzen 4000 series of chipset. And the Ryzen 4000 series chipset we really crafted into the Ryzen for Surface processors, meaning we have some extra silicon features enabled on that chipset. So that really makes it our own. So very interesting. Also worth noting is that with the AMD chipset, we have the first secured core PC solution for AMD in a laptop form factor with the 4000 series. And for us, it's the first secured core PC solution at the x86 architecture. So very interesting solution there. And then we got the Go devices, the Laptop Go and the Surface Go. And Laptop Go and Surface Go are devices that we have designed for those customers that really were interested in purchasing Surface devices, but where budget is more important right now as a factor of making a decision. So with the Go, Laptop Go and Surface Go, we really provide a Surface look and feel for a more budget-friendly option. And then in this lineup, we also got the Surface Pro X. And the Surface Pro X is our first Windows on ARM Surface device that provides a very slim form factor with high battery life and a very nice design with a bigger screen real estate. So if you're in the market for a very fast, silent and high battery capacity solution, you have to look at Pro X as well. So then we got the Surface Studio, and the Surface Studio is really designed for those creative people that need to be productive for work and need a bigger screen real estate, but also need the capability of a very powerful device and a screen that can tilt up and down for the right angle to be more creative and be more artistic. So very beautiful 28-inch display there with a very nice design that we pack in the studio. And of course, we got Surface Duo. A Surface Duo is a device that we recently launched that set a new benchmark when it comes to form factors. Surface Duo is a very compact device that you can bring along with you very easily with 2 screens that make sure that you can run 2 applications at the same time, for instance. So a very nice device if you're in the market for a compact productivity device. And of course, we got our Surface accessories. Well, on this slide, you will only see our earbuds and our headphones 2 Plus, but we also got very nice mice and very nice keyboards that can really complement the whole Surface experience. So if we take a closer look at the headphones 2 Plus that you see right here, we recently launched this headset, and it's worth noting that it's Teams certified right now. So it means it's delivered with a dongle that you can very easily put in your PC and have a plug and play experience with the headphones. Last but not least, Surface Hub that you see right here. So as you see, I'm currently presenting at a Surface Hub right now, and Surface Hub is our all-in-one solution for the modern workspace. So for the meeting room, the open workspace, where people need to collaborate with people that are working on the go, people that are working from home, and people that need to combine video conferencing with digital whiteboarding and have the capability to use it as a wireless projection screen. So I think this is a very interesting solution for after the lockdown, because a lot of our customers will need to have a solution where they can interact with people that are working from home, people that are working in the office, but also people that will be on the go, of course. So our devices are designed with aesthetics and beauty in mind. But we also thought about other things. We thought about, of course, the business, and that's why we introduced Surface for Business, where you always can be sure that the devices that we ship are delivered with a clean version of our Windows 10 Pro solution. You will have advanced exchange. That means that your customers, if they have a problem with the device, don't need to send in the device first to receive a new device for the situation or problem that they are in. We also have different configurations, commercial configurations, that are more powerful to meet the business needs of your customer. And last but not least, we think and care about the environment. So we really thought about our packaging solutions and to make it more sufficient when it comes to being environmentally friendly. All right, so that's all nice and dandy, but if we look at our IT decision makers, they are thinking about more than beauty, aesthetics, and packaging. They're also thinking about, okay, if I order a whole batch of devices, how do I deploy these devices easily? And if they are deployed, how do I keep track of those devices? So how do I manage them? And last but not least, how am I sure that the solutions I have are really a secured solution and are really thoughtful if we look at security? So if we first take a look at deployment and we look at the way traditional deployment is handled, we see that if you want to deploy devices, you first need to create an image. And in that image, you need to define the drivers, the settings, the policies, and the applications that need to run on a certain device. So after that's done, you create that provision package on a USB stick, or you provide it through the internet. And after you have deployed that, you have to repeat that and again and again and again. And of course, depending on how much devices you are deploying, this is a very time-consuming effort. So that can be different. that can be different through a modern solution. So how does a modern solution look like? Well, in a modern solution, you create an online profile. And in that online deployment profile, you again define the device settings, the drivers, the policies, and of course the applications. And from there, instead of provisioning it through a USB stick or the Ethernet on-premise, you make sure that your users, your end users, can just download that profile on the device themselves, so that you, as an IT decision maker, don't need to be physically in the room with the devices that you need to provision. And that's the modern way of how we think about deploying devices. So how does that whole device journey look like? Well, when we are thinking about the modern way of deployment, Windows Autopilot is really the cornerstone of that solution. And Microsoft 365 is the underlying foundation of that, obviously, delivering Endpoint Manager, Azure Active Directory, and of course that Autopilot service. So it all starts with our customers that want to have a Surface device and that want to purchase a Surface device at your company. From there, you as a partner provides those devices, and here comes the question: how do you make sure that your customer will have that zero-touch experience? Well, you as a partner can register the devices for your customer through Partner Center. So that means that you have to register the device serial numbers in Partner Center and make a connection to the tenant of your customer. And when the device serial numbers are registered at your customer can define the policies and the applications that they want to implement on their devices. And from there, we are all ready to go. So from there, our employees are ready to receive the devices. And when they receive the device, the only thing they have to do is log in with their corporate credentials. So they log in with their credentials and they will receive the policies and applications that are predefined by your customer. So after the installation is done, your customer has full grip over the environment that they have created, and they have full control over all the devices that are enrolled at their employees. They can, for instance, do a remote wiping, they can do an autopilot reset, they can reprovision, they can do a warranty replacement. And by the way, it's worth noting that we have a very interesting offer if you look at the warranty replacement, because we make sure that when there is a warranty replacement, that the same profile is loaded on the replacement device. And after a device is end of life, your customer has access to do a end of life deprovisioning as well. So that's how the device journey looks like. But how about the end user experience? Well, there are several ways of how we can manage that experience for the end user. The first experience is the user-driven deployment. That's just the whole device journey that I've just shown you. And as you can see here on this video clip that is playing right now, this is what your end user will see when they unpack the device. They have to log in on a Wi-Fi point. Then after they're done with that, they have to log in with their corporate credentials, as I mentioned. And when they're done with that, you will see that the device will install all the applications and profile, or it will install the profile that's predefined by your customer. And when that's done, you will see that the device is in a ready use state, so that your end user can really use the device as intended. Okay, so this is nice and very easy to follow, but sometimes your customer is more demanding. Sometimes your customer wants to have a device that's more prepared, so that the whole process and time that you see here in this process is shortened. And therefore, we have a solution that we call Windows Autopilot Pre-Provisioning Deployment. That's formerly known as white glove deployment. And this deployment method requires you or your customer to pre-provision the device and load the profile on the device. And after that's done, reseal it again. So what benefit does this bring? Well, again, it's less time consuming, and that means that it is taking less time when it arrives at the employee, at the end user, when installing. And for some customers or some scenarios, this is required because, again, you need to be productive and you need to be on the go as soon as possible. So as you can see right here on this video clip, it's loading all the predefined applications and policies that your customer has set for the device, and it's installing. And right now you can see that you have the option to reseal the device, so that when it's sent out to the end user, the only thing they have to do is sign in, and they will have a quicker experience with the whole installation process. All right, so we talked about deployment. We have talked about how you will manage the whole experience. Well, how about security? Well, with Surface, we give you a chip-to-cloud security that's really built in our Surface DNA. And what do we mean by that? Well, first off, we have made some choices on the hardware level to make sure that our solution is secure. So we have included TPM 2.0. We are working with BitLocker and Windows Hello, but we also made some design decisions. For instance, we have soldered the RAM onto the motherboard so that you cannot detach it. On the RAM, there could be encrypted hardware and somebody could read it out. So we have said, okay, we need to solder it down so that you're really secure on a hardware level as well. So on a firmware level, we have made some decisions, like we have created our own UEFI, the Surface UEFI. And we did that because we don't want to rely on third-party UEFI or BIOS suppliers for building our solution, but also for maintaining our solution. We think it's very important to keep that in-house and to make sure that we can give a secure solution. Another decision that we have made on that part is that we have included DFCI, Device Firmware Configuration Interface. So that basically means that you can remotely manage your UEFI through Endpoint Manager, through Intune, to make sure that you can set policies, but also set the behavior of the, for instance, USB ports on certain devices, or the camera behavior to turn it on or off. You can do that all remotely and manage that through the platform that you're so used to right now. So that's on the firmware level decisions that we have made. So from an OS operating system point of view, you can be sure that we have included the secure boot that's enabled by default, but also advanced Windows security features that you're used to from our OS. That's right out of the box available for you with the Surface. And last but not least, cloud, and I already talked about it. We created our own UEFI that you can manage from the cloud. You don't need any other third-party tools to manage your UEFI or to update your UEFI BIOS. No, it's all done through Windows for Windows Update for Business, and you can manage the policies through the portal you become to love. So really, this gives a whole total package of a secure solution that's backed from chip to cloud, then that's built in from the base. So I can understand that this can come over as a lot of technical jibber-jabber, and you want to elaborate more on what we have to offer from a technical point of view. That's why we have introduced a technical partner community for Surface, where you can join in ask questions, attend our monthly webinar where we have a different subject every month. But also join our open office hour. Every Wednesday from 8:30 until 9:30, we have an open office hour where you can just join in, ask questions, have a chat. And of course, we elaborate on different topics like Surface Hub, but also where we talk about right now, Surface PC. And we cover things like Surface warranty and of course, Surface zero-touch deployment with Surface. So please feel free to join our community. Just send a email with your credentials to joinwe@microsoft.com that you see right here. I repeat, joinwe@microsoft.com, and we will welcome you into our community. All right, so to wrap it up, what do we have to offer when you're deploying with Surface? Well, we give you a high trust zero-touch deployment through Autopilot with DFCI enabled, making sure that you have a full zero-touch deployment experience. That means that you don't need to be physically with the device when you deploy the devices. You can remotely manage the BIOS. You can remotely enroll the devices, and it's very important from a partner point of view that you play a crucial role, because if you are not registering the devices for your customer, they cannot activate DFCI. So again, very important that you are included as a partner. From a security point of view, we built our own UV, where we can say this is a secure solution, and we build our security story upon it, so that you have a full chip-to-cloud security experience with Surface. Thank you for joining this session.